No, I will book her like Joe.
The one was that now on 6.
Ṣe bàbá fún gbogbo wa lọ́jọ́ náà. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá lọ́ta àwọn náà máa wà níbẹ̀. Àwọn àlejò láti ìlú òyìnbó láti ìlú òkèèrè Cuba, Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago gbogbo wọn náà máa wà níbẹ̀. Gbogbo wa láti àyè ọkọ sẹ́yìn. Ó wà tó wá di ọjọ́ kejì.
Tóní kò ní ṣojú wa ojú wa tẹ́lẹ̀ gan níwò ìyàmọ́dún o owó níní pẹ̀lú ọmọ rere ilé kíkọ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀mí gígùn àlàáfíà ló jọ ń gbogbo lọ Èdùmàrè má fi kan wọ́n wá.
Yeye Lara Otobe, Aniki Jola la la la. Ago. Nitele, Aniki Mase. Ago. Ni Messi Bala. Ni Moderae. Yes sir. Let's see more about Sukere. Tàbí ọba, tàbí Sukere, Madabi Gbèrè. Abiori mi bi tọ́ba, ọ̀pọ̀ ọwọ́ mi bi tìjòyè. Mo dà lága, mo dà láwo, ìtàkùn méjì gbá yẹ̀rìyẹ̀. Bí sọ bàbá ní. Ago, ẹ̀là. Mo fẹ́ yẹn dànù pátápátá. Ìyá gbòòrò, ìyá mi ẹ̀dùn, ẹ̀ṣọ́, ọ̀pá ìṣẹ́yìntì. Ìyá tọ́, ẹ̀tọ́, àbúrò ìṣe, ẹ̀dẹ́ ìbáyìí. Pépele aṣọ báyìí lọ bára rẹ̀ gbogbo ṣèbí kíkà nígbà lọ́tún máa bá ẹ̀ ayé rẹ̀ já ìpìlẹ̀ olùfọ́jú gbogbo àwọn tí tó bá wọn wáyé lóògùn lọ fún mi. Kò wá sí ìyá òkúto tó pẹ̀lú ìṣàṣà ìyá fàmọ́ ti pẹ̀lú olùkọ́ amọ̀lọ́wọ́ amọ̀lẹ́sẹ̀ amọ̀tìmọ̀tìmọ̀ onítìmọ̀tìmọ̀ báyìí tí wọ́n gbé ìta sọ nínú abẹ́lẹ̀ dáa nítorí kọ̀ọ̀kan tó wà nígbà àní délé gbogbo àní aláṣẹ pé àtúnyẹ ọmọ lórí aya lórí dúkìá lórí gbogbo tata lórí tata nìyí ètò ìbáyìí tọ́jú máa wá jíjọ́ náà àní wàlẹ̀ pàmáyà àti ìdí ara máa jẹ́ agbóhùnlá máa bí wẹ́rẹ́ àgbà máa tọ́wọ́ làbẹ́jọ gbogbo etí tó ń gbóhùn ìṣàṣẹ níjọ́bù ara tó ń lọ̀kẹ́ tókun bá lu àmóluwa tọ́sà bá lu àmóluwa olùkọ́ dòdò àjẹtì ayé afa ìbánijẹ tí ń bá ní sọ báyìí a máa ń dánwò fún yín. Ọ̀pọ̀ nílé ìrírí àṣà ẹ̀fọ́ ìṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ níbi báyìí gbogbo ibi báyìí ọ̀wá máa jẹ ọ̀wọ̀ tó bá ń jẹ́ fàdé á jẹ́ fọmọ ní ọ̀wá. Owó kò kì í kú. Wọ́n tún wá sọ̀kan nínú if you belong.
Let's put our hands together for this wonderful performance by Yeye Lara Fashola. Sincerely, our culture is supernaturally unique. And from all the things we've just performed, every bit of the performance, every bit, has a great meaning to our culture. In Yoruba land, drumming is specifically for a joyous moment. That's why they call it Anyagalu Abodu Todo Leno. Oku Ewure to form the That is, the animal skin speaks like human being. And for all the things you have just performed, and if you listen to the lyrics, with the performances and the drawings, there are messages attached. So for that, tells us our culture is supernaturally unique. And some things will come into dancing, and it will go into the Yoruba methodology and will go into the Yoruba divinity, which says, Mori wasa wasa, Moko irilono, meaning I'm walking faster and I'm getting joy along the line. Mori bere bere, Moko irilono, walking majestically, then I'll still get joy along the line. Mori there, Moko irilono, walking like a king, and yet I'll still get joy on the line.
And that agenda have 7 aspirations. And one of the aspiration 5, talks about an African with strong cultural identity. And one of the way of getting that is what Honorable Kenny just said, developing a curriculum for the school, primary, secondary schools, to teach youth, students about African culture. So that is one of the things that is being done. And that was one of the reasons why we took the decision to focus on culture. And then also to sensitize, enlighten, and teach some of our youth on African culture. By the time I came in, the first thing we did was to visit some of the states, and we visited some of the traditional rulers. And we told them they need to be at the forefront of promoting culture, telling our youth, encouraging them to imbibe our culture. And aside from that, we had to launch a project called My Culture and I. One of the main focus of that project is also to reorientate youth on the importance of our culture, because we believe firmly that if we imbibe our culture, the morals, our life, things will change. I'm telling you, a whole lot will change. A lot of us Yorubas, we know the way we're brought up, morally upright, greetings, show respect to elders, dressings. There's no Yoruba culture, there's no Yoruba culture that promotes nudity. And that is the truth. Check our dressings. Our food are unique. In fact, like in my place, there's some soup that they will give you that are medicinal. In fact, the next day, by the time you wake up and go to toilet, you understand that something has gone on to do. That is our food. Our food are medicinal. Our music are unique. Our music are super, they brought super reflection. When you listen to some of our music, you will see the uniqueness of the music in teaching morals. Those are things we are bringing back, and those are things we are promoting. And among that, we are also immortalizing some of our musicians that really brought Yoruba culture to the fore. Those are things that we're trying to do to promote and to get the youth interested. But are they interested? some of the music, some of the song my brother was singing. If it were to be R&B, you see youth dancing, and in fact, all the realms, all the listeners are crammed, and they can sing it fluently, but sing the Yoruba song. They are turned off. And those are things we're trying to change. And that was why we had to appoint cultural ambassadors. And before we did that, we looked at those people that are really, really into our culture. Those that we know that they are the custodians of our culture, like the High Chief from Benin, like my sister is talking, the High Chief from Benin, we have the King, and we have Yeye. We have 6 cultural ambassadors that everything about them is culture. What are we trying to do? Is to reorientate us, to bring culture and say, we must do this. I'm telling you, culture will drive every sector in Nigeria, in Africa, every sector. Talk about culture, you talk about tourism. And when you talk about tourism, you talk about food, we talk about the fashion, you talk about the music, everything. Culture will drive it. And that's why we're propagating. My sister, thank you so much. We're appreciating you again for bringing this to.
Ladies and gentlemen, a resounding applause for Yeye Fashola. Okay, yeah. I believe with all of the responses we got from Yeye.
And one of the things we discussed is that we need to come up with a viable calendar, because it will help us a lot. For example, now people know that August 26th they should be in Lagos to attend Olokun festival, and I believe that with time we are going to come up with that. Thank you.
All right, many thanks. Now I move to the next over there. Please let us know your medium and your name, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Wahab Akinari. I write for Radio Nigeria. I would like to know, what is the nexus between culture and the religion? My second question, how can culture be used to address the issue of ethnicity difference vis-a-vis the Fulani crisis that's going on and the obedience in Lagos State, etc.? Then the third question, should religion form basis of selecting leaders in a society, or the cultural value the individual person has for selection of the leadership? Vis-a-vis the Muslim ticket of the APC saga that's ongoing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that question. What is the correlation between culture and religion, you said? Religion is a part of culture, because what is culture? Culture is the way of life of a group of people. The way we pray, the way we talk, the language we speak, the way we dress is all part of culture. Thank you. The second question, I am not a government official. I think the government official should be in the best position to answer that question. Yes.
No, really, I think you should say something in regards to this, especially considering the Muslim ticket. You know, election is just around the corner, 2023, and a lot of Nigerians really, they have different religions, okay? But the major ones that people talk about is Christianity and the Muslim. So we want to know what then happens if we continue to advocate a Muslim ticket or Muslim Christian tickets. What happens to other religions?
That's a big one. Anyway, you see, I have often said that religion, we have so many religions in the world, over 4,000 religions. So if we begin to address the issue of religion, we may not get anywhere. So I am really not in a position to talk about politics on this platform, because I also happen to belong to a very prominent party. And we are here solely to promote the culture. That's why we are here. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Anna Ojoba. I write for New Telegraph newspaper. My question is, when are we going to see a unification of Olokun festival? Because I'm aware that Oreno Kakafo is equally organizing his own. Why are we having it separately? Why can't we have a unified festival? That's the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Like I said before, I am a princess from Ile-Ife, princess from Lagos, and princess from the great Benin Kingdom. And I am an high priestess. I am not just a promoter of the culture. I practice the traditional religion, true and true. And the reason why we celebrate festivals to start with is because our forebears, our ancestors, made promises to the Orishas that they would celebrate them yearly. Just like the Christians celebrate Christmas and the Muslims celebrate Eid al-Kabir or Eid al-Fitr, you know. And it is usually a platform where prayers are being offered for 1 year, and then the following year you come back to thank God. Thank you.
On the unification of our festivals, I want to say that would be destroying the uniqueness of most of our festivals. In each of the states, we have different festivals that we celebrate. Like in Osun now, in the whole year, if Osun is to celebrate festival, it's only 1 day in the whole year that they will not celebrate festival. And each of the festivals are unique. So when you unify them, you invariably destroy some of the uniqueness of those festivals. And I think it's to our own advantage not to unify, because it will give us a privilege to also promote our tourism sector. If we promote those festivals, we improve on our tourism. People coming to Osun every day of the year to see each of the festivals. You increase the GDP of Osun State. You promote every aspect of the Nigerian culture, be it agriculture, be it selling of fabrics, be it every aspect is promoted. So unification would mean that you are shooting yourself on the feet by destroying the privilege that culture would have brought to tourism. So I think celebrating our culture as it is the best.
Please, have your seat, please hold on.
Okay,
this question is getting now. The question is, how can Yoruba art and culture be infused better in arts and entertainment?
If you ask me, this is what we have been doing all the time. Arts and culture has been infused. It has already been, except you're not aware that you have a job to do because it has been infused. If you look at every song that is being sung by our local artists, even of the international artists, you will hear Yoruba language in it. You will hear Yoruba language in it. And even if you don't, that product may not even sell. So you see the likes of Davido, Whiskey, Two-Face, Nice, every one of them is singing now in the local dialect. So I think that our culture has been infused into entertainment. Thank you.
Thank you. When we talk of our culture, the greatest, I don't want to say the British, they tried, for us, but it's not much. When you look at our curriculum, not only you have but Africa as a whole, our curriculum is not something to get to about. Everything is westernized. And that is why between 15th and 17th of September, the African leaders, in the education sector, they will be meeting in Pretoria, South Africa, to
discuss how our curriculum, our culture can be infused into our curriculum. Because when you look at it now, even history are not being taught in most schools in Nigeria now. And then that is to tell you what the Western world, the impact they have on our governance, to tell our people not to know about our culture. Because what people will be reading, children will be pupils, right from primary school, will be reading is about Charles Dickens. But it's high time we bring culture into our curriculum so that from primary school, our children will know much about our culture. It's not now, some people are just saying about Olokun now. So they should teach us about Olokun from primary school. Thank you.
Orúkọ tèmi ni Adéníjì Adétúnjì láti lè ṣe Kábíyèsí TV. Mo fẹ́ bi Yeye wa léèrè ìbéèrè kan tó pín sí ọ̀nà méjì. Ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́ lọ báyìí pé kí ni àǹfààní tí àwa ọmọ ènìyàn adarí wọn tí à ń jẹ látara Olókun festival yìí láti ẹ̀yìn wá àti bí a ṣe ń tẹ̀síwájú. Ìbéèrè ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni pé ọgbọ́n wo lè dá láti kó àwọn kábíyèsí wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ládéládé lóyè ìjọ láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ válù ìṣẹ̀ṣe. Torí a ní nínú àwọn ọba Yorùbá kan tí wọ́n ní ìṣẹ̀ṣe òní méjì ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ míì ní wọ́n lọ gbé òòṣà mọ́ta pé kí wọ́n má gbélé ààfin. Kí àwọn ipá tẹ̀ ń ṣà láti jẹ́ kí àwọn ìṣẹ̀ṣe wa gbé káàkiri gbogbo orígun mẹ́rin àgbáyé látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn kábíyèsí aládé wa. Thank you.
Ẹ ṣe olùgbọ́ ipa tí Olókun kó nínú ayé ọmọ ẹ̀dá ni wípé gẹ́gẹ́ bá ti sọ síwájú tẹ́lẹ̀ pé Olókun yìí òrìṣà ilé Elédùmarè gbé ajé lé lọ́wọ́. So ìwọ tó bá ń tajà àbí ìwọ tó nílò owó àbí ìwọ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń wá ìgbéga àbí ìwọ tí ò ń ṣe àìsàn òrìṣà Olókun yìí. Mi ò fẹ́ máa lọ sínú ìtàn púpọ̀ àmọ́ èmi tí mo dúró yìí nígbà lórí owó àbí lórí ajé téèyàn bá tó Olókun lọ onítàn wa máa lájé lọ́wọ́ a máa rówó náà a máa rówó lò á lè máa ní ìgbéga àti tí ìpá ń ṣàìsàn Olókun tẹ̀mí adé ń wo àìsàn ẹlẹ́kejì lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọba wa tí ẹ sọ ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ sọ ẹ̀ ó jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó máa ń kàn mí lóminú púpọ̀ tó jẹ́ wípé ó máa ń gba omijé lójú mi nígbà míì tí mo bá kà àti tí bá rí olú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe rí àwa ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀ pé ìwọ tí o bá mọ̀ wípé o ò lè ṣe ìṣẹ̀ṣe o ní business nínú pé o jọba ìdí nìyí ọba aládé àwọn ní àwọn gbọ̀ngàn la gbé ìṣẹ̀ṣe lé lọ́wọ́ àwọn ní the grand custodian of the culture. Ńgbà tí ọba bá wà nínú ìlú tó ń ṣọdún tó ń ṣe oríṣiríṣi tó ń bọ òrìṣà lásìkò tí wọ́n ń dá fáàlú tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ mẹ́sẹ̀jì ṣé mọ̀ àwọn pàápàá ni wọ́n súnmọ́ Elédùmarè jù nínú ìlú àwọn Elédùmarè á tún máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ìlú àti àwọn èèyàn wọn. Àwọn gbà tó bá àlú bá sọ pé òun ò ṣẹ̀sìn ìbílẹ̀ òun ò ṣiṣẹ́ṣe ẹjọ́ báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ rọgbọ nítorí èyí arọ àwọn afọbàwà jẹ ẹni tí ò bá ti nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ìṣẹ̀ṣe kó má jẹ́ kó dé orí omi ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mama Oli. I write for Wakaba. I have to compliment your beauty and also try to project our culture. Congratulations. I just have a simple question because I heard the MC talking about money and everything is money. Yes, the Olokun has been on for some time. How are you marrying it together? Technology, because every business we do today that is not technology driven will die as soon as the person is up on earth. just like white person. Which is a very vulnerable to make sure that the technology driven, to make the GDP that make the money, and secondly, this also puts or the incentive to other because I noticed that the Egyptian festival celebrated every president of workers, which I have called quite interesting for those that are exceptional cultures. It's not only about people, it's supposed to go around Africa, Nigeria. Thank you.
I think quite good, but madam, if you had commander is one end of thank you for that question. If you had come earlier, you would have listened to the speech that was made by she talked about wealth creation and technology when you got here. That is not my field, so she talked extensively on that. She's representing the mobile automation group. That's right there. You might want to meet her after this time, but she really, she educated us on how we could merge wealth, which simply means Olokun, in Yoruba language, with technology, so that it doesn't go into extinction. Thank you for that question. Also, your question about if the Olokun festival is restricted only to the Yorubas, my answer is no, because all over the world, because all over the world, everybody needs money. We all need money. Money is very essential. In fact, it's the most essential of all basic things. You need money for feeding, shelter, everything. Basically, we need money. So the festival is not restricted to the Yorubas alone. The Igbos also worship that deity. It's just that they don't call it Olokun. And but all over the world, in Cuba, Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago, in the Americas and the UK, I think everybody knows what Olokun is. It simply is the deity of wealth. And it's not just wealth, also economic growth. Thank you.
All right, beautiful lady. Question and answer. City people to at once, she and the other lady.
I want to mention especially on behalf of the youth, we really work really well. And I must say, this is the first time, my name is Damola Kole, and I'm writing for City People magazine. And like I was saying, I must say this is the first time I'm really saying something in culture. So I'll be, my question will be in this form. What move is being made to actually bring back history to schools? I'm not talking about schools, secondary school, and I'm talking about bringing it back to our kids. Because most of us don't experience culture until after I left school. So I'd like to know how much you have gone into bringing it back to school fresh. Thank you very much.
Question, yes.
That's I greet you especially here. Everyone seated. I'm from the Great Benin Kingdom, and my question to you is that is there a difference between the Olokun that is being celebrated in Benin and the one that is celebrated in Yoruba? And if there is no difference, what is really the origination of Olokun? Because we from Benin, I was opportunity to start learning about Olokun from my grandmother, which is Princess Yeye Lara. So I want to know what's the difference and what are the similarities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Princess, for that question. Why I'll take that question first is because my question, the lady from City People asked, will be answered by Honorable John, because I'm a traditional person. I love traditional questions. I break tradition. I eat tradition. I drink tradition. Okay, Princess, you're welcome from the Great Kingdom. I welcome you. There's no difference between the Olokun that is worshipped in Benin Kingdom and Yoruba land. It is one and the same. Unfortunately, time will not permit us. I would have told the story how Olokun left Ife to Lagos and then ended a journey in Benin Kingdom as a male. The Olokun deity is androgynous. It is both male and female. It's the only Orisha that has the two energies, male and female. That is why children of Olokun are very, very strong. They're enigmas. They have their male sides and they have their female sides. You can see that.
Òkútọ́ pọ́tọ́jà tí òkòwò ńlá máa ń dáṣọ fún tó ń pè ní eégún ẹgbẹ́gẹ̀rin ìjìnà tí ń bá rìn jìnnà àti dáhùn padà máa lè dé ọ̀. Ẹ̀yin oníbàtà ẹ̀sọ̀ kankan pẹ̀lú bàtà tẹ̀ mú gbọ́ tí ń bá fi lè lọ ọbẹ̀ á lè o. Tí ń bá lọ ọbẹ̀ á lè o. Ọmọ onífá ni mí. Mo kàn lè jẹ́ mùsùlùmí ọmọ onífá ni mí. Torí bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ sọ pẹ̀lú ìyẹn. But for me, I need to let you know this. Our culture is very, very superb and supreme. I have an opportunity of being around, at least I've been to 18 countries. But I love what I do there. And I love the money that comes with it. Sincerely, the money that comes with it. Sincerely. You only love it. Kí n dé nìkan fẹ́ lọ pẹ̀sà àbí fẹ́ ṣe kọ́ máa sanwó. Mi ò dẹ̀ kí n so òyìnbó dọ̀la ẹ̀ ní kò sóyìnbó tẹ́lẹ̀ ní búyàn lórí tó lè tètè fún yàn lówó. Àti ìjọba ní àwọn adjectives tó ga superlative, indicative, dating. But Yorùbá mo ti ń sọ ẹnìkan lọ́mọ Ìjẹ̀bú gbólóhùn mẹ́ ẹnìkan Ìjẹ̀bú. Very good. I love our culture. Please put yourself and welcome to the microphone. And Jiboye from the media section. Adelika, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Well done. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me say good afternoon to everybody. Many thanks for finding our time to make this very event. As mentioned, my name is Yeye Lara. Yes, I'm a Yoruba person, really, and I really wish that I can really communicate just like the MC, does in Yoruba language. Momo Yoruba, so dear, I hope I'm communicated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time we've been waiting for, the time for members of the fourth state of the realm to ask different questions looking on their lips from Ambassador Yeye Lara Fashola. Please with a resounding applause, let's just hail her. She's doing a good job. I mean, sitting a young, I describe her as an embodiment of knowledge. I mean, I see a young woman looking so beautiful and promoting culture because she's been doing this for long, and this is what's commended. Well done, ma'am. All right, ladies and gentlemen from the media, if you have questions, please signify by raising your hands so we do this quickly. All right. So you just tell us your medium and you ask your question. Okay, from there.
My name is Okoro. I am the travel journalist. I write for African Travel Herald. So the question is directed to Yeye. The Olokun Festival is a cultural festival. From some of us who are in tourism, culture is just the content you use to sell tourism. Like the MC said, it is all about money. It's not just about holding on the culture, but it's also the money that it brings. Now, you've been running this festival for a couple of years, and it has not yet gotten, as maybe I stand to be corrected, as into the tourism calendar, the national tourism calendar of Nigeria, so that maybe at every year we know from so and so period to so and so period the festival will hold. Now the question is, how are you going to make this not just to come into the national tourism calendar, so that anybody, because if like he traveled from Nigeria to go to Brazil, it is something he already aware, he knows about the festival, and they made his arrangements so that foreigners too, who might wish to come and attend and also be savour the rich culture that you are displaying, will be able to do that. So how are you doing that? Thank you very much.
Thank you for that question. Well, maybe you don't know, but aside the fact that I'm an ambassador at the African Union, I'm also the Olokun Agbaye mainly worldwide. For this festival, we have so many people coming from the diaspora. We have people coming in from Cuba, from Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil, North America, South America, UK, Ghana. We have the Ghanaian king, the Ga king is coming. I spoke to him yesterday. Last year, we also had so many people come from the diaspora. Maybe you were not here at the press conference, because we had a press conference held, last year, also here at the same venue. And we had so many people from the US, from Cuba, Brazil, and then Jamaica. Also, let me take you back. Remember that we were nursing the pangs of the pandemic last year, so it was not as much as we hoped it would be. But this year, the pandemic is not so much around, and so we're expecting people. And we're also working tirelessly, of course, to answer your question about the calendar thing. I'm working tirelessly with my team. You can see the Nigeria's representative at the African Union is here seated. We also have the head of culture and tourism by the name Honorable Kennedy Adu. We will get there soon. We will get there soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As a follow-up now, NT is asking a question. Okay, please hold on. NT is asking a question, and the question is, what is the importance of traditional worship, Sheshe? And then, August 20 is the Sheshe Day. Why has our government not considered a holiday for the traditional worshippers, just like the Christians and the Muslims?
The importance of traditional worship. Well, as a custodian of the traditional religion, the importance of this religion is that, we do things the way it is done of old, and we get answers, quick answers. I practice the Sheshe fully, and I know that every time I make propitiations, I get answers. Secondly, August 20, well, this question should not be directed at me. I think Mr. Ido Johnson should answer on behalf of the Lagos State government, because he is representing the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. Is he here? Oh, I saw him. Let's hold it down.
Okay. Thank you very much. Of recent, the stakeholders in culture and tourism, we met in Abuja, and one of the things we're looking at is to come up with because not only culture alone, even tourism, we do have a viable calendar for our activities. But I want to tell you that some states have started like
This is what we call pure culture. The dancing step, the lyrics, and the musical, there are messages attached. And I want to go to the Yoruba methodology and divinity. I'm sorry, I'll be making reference to that. Yoruba people would say, the ones with the wisdom of the Yoruba understanding will say, Pekeri, Akekeri, only Beji, one in 50 back the making that don't know. Meaning, well, a man and a woman coming together before reproduction, fine. What you have just seen with the step of the dancing of these wonderful people, they have just shown us what our culture is all about. Please put your hands once again for Olokun. Thank you very much. We have the movie automation team are there here. Please put your hands together if you are here. Movie automation team, thank you very much. You're welcome. We appreciate you. Agidio Bata, could you please step to the stage? Ajijo Bata, please step to the stage. Ayoyogo, 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 Mokumo. While we're waiting for, please permit me to introduce the head culture, tourism, and art sector, starting with POC. She's here with us. This is Abiola Adelan. Please put your hands together for her. You're welcome. Let's put the hands together. This is unique. Ladies and gentlemen, it's part of our culture to say this. Olala, lawo obe. Yeye Lara Fashola máa ṣe tẹ̀lé. Olala lawo obe. Ní ìgbà tí Ọ̀rúnmìlà ń bọ̀, tí àwọn ọ̀tá láwọn máa pa wọn ní jẹ́ k'Ọ̀rúnmìlà kó ṣàánú. Ó sọ fún wọn, ó ní ọ̀làlà láwọ ọ̀dẹ, ẹ ti ṣọdún ẹ máa ṣe tẹ̀mí. Ó wá kọrin kan ní tó kọ ní mo múra, mo mú jẹ, mo múra o, mo mú jẹ, mo múra làpárò kéwù. Ó wá kà síwájú, oṣó ilé. Ẹ̀fà mímọ́ra, àjẹ́ ilé ẹ̀fà mímọ́ra, bóbìnrin bá rò ká àfà máa bẹ̀rù. Ẹ̀yin ti dánmọ́ kú tí kò gbọ́dọ̀ pa, ẹ̀dọ̀ márùn táwọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe. Today we have come to celebrate one of the ancestors of the Yoruba people, Yeye Olokun, a river goddess in charge of wealth. For the Yoruba people who understand who Olokun is, they will go by this, telling that Olokun is the supreme, the most powerful act of the river goddess. The most powerful. When they want to sing, to show the power of Olokun, they will say, Olokun lagba omi o, Olokun lagba omi. Gbogbo omi ẹ̀bọ̀wọ̀ f'Olokun, Olokun làgbà omi. It is not believed by the Yoruba people back then in the olden days that if things are not going too well, if you are poor and you can manage to get to Okun, you have money. That is why they say Olokun sẹ̀yìn adé òkùnkùn onísọ̀ òjì. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me now to call for this podium the convener of Olokun Festival 2022, a woman I respect so much, a barrister, a Nigerian, a super Nigerian. Please put your hands together as she comes to the microphone, Ambassador Yeye Lara Fashola. Please, that's when I ask you to look at Corey there.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you for always. He's always a beck and call. He's a cultural ambassador as well. Thank you so much. Our host, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Dr. Femi Hamzat, the Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Oshuolale Akiolu, His Imperial Majesty Oni Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi, the Ojaja II, all royal fathers, Mr. Oba Olasokomi, the country representative of the African Union Economic, Social and Cultural Council, AU ECOSOC, Mr. Suwad Abdul Shuko, Trade Attaché, Malaysia High Commission, Nigeria. Thank you. You're welcome. Honorable Quadri Adu Kende, Head of Culture and Tourism for African Union ECOSOC. Thank you for always. The Chairman, Olokun Foundation, Chief Architect, City of Atlantis, Olosias. All priests and priestesses here present, devotee of Olokun, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great joy to address Nigerians and Africans through this medium on the forthcoming Olokun Festival 2022. Olokun Festival is a cultural festival celebrated throughout Yoruba land and the diaspora. The main purpose is to unite our people. To unite our people to the whole world and the whole world, and to showcase the cultural value and heritage of our dear people. The festival, which has been held since the 90s, is organized by the Olokun Festival Foundation and has become so popular that tourists now mark the date in their calendars to attend. It has promoted tourism and cultural value chain to the world at large and makes Africa culture ripe with potential promises. It is high time that all hands are put on deck to systematically transform it into an economic force. This requires a concerted effort, time and attention of every African. The theme for this year's event is the role of African culture in the promotion and development of young Africans. It's very timely and apt to the present situation in the country. My belief is that if culture is properly harnessed, it will increase the GDP of Nigeria and of course of the entire Africa continent. There is need to enlighten our youth to take their destiny into their hands. They should take due advantage of the continent's rich cultural diversity to develop themselves economically. The promotion of our culture in Africa should have an impact on the way we view life. This gives us an edge among other continents. But Nigeria, contrary to this statement, our culture is being pushed aside for foreign cultures in terms of food, languages, entertainment, and fashion. Promoting the Yoruba culture through the Olokun Festival has come to mend the gap by showcasing our culture in the best way possible with our local cuisine, music, fashion, folklore, and others. As a cultural ambassador of the African Union ECOSOC Nigeria and as a custodian of the African culture, my job is to support the work of the regional body, which is to promote greater unity and solidarity between African countries and the people, and also to defend Africa's position on issues of the common interest. The better way to achieve these goals is by promoting and driving the relevance of our cultural heritage to our coming generations. The support of the African Union ECOSOC Nigeria on Olokun Festival is something worth mentioning. Olokun Festival is in line with Aspiration 5 of the African Union Agenda 2063, which is meant for the future and is to accelerate progress towards continental unity and integration for sustainability of culture and heritage, growth, trade, exchanges of goods, services, free movement of people and capital through establishing a united Africa and fast-tracking economic integration. The aspiration, which is a progress, is fundamental to our growth as Africans. And if this is properly harnessed, it will surely take over our continent to where we all want it to be in future. Ambassadors and high commissioners from Africa and from other countries like Brazil, Venezuela, Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Malaysia, France, China, America, Spain, Britain have been invited to come and be part of this year's event on the 26th day of August 2022 at the prestigious Monarch Event Center in Lekki. Part of the program expected at the event will include, but not limited to, cultural displays, Ewe recitation, dance performances, inspired African shows, display of African artifacts, live band of contemporary African music. The window of collaboration is open to all who are interested in working with us at Olokun Foundation. I am sure that this is an early beginning of greater things to come to Nigeria and our dear continent in general. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you to our dear Governor, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for creating an avenue for people of different culture and religion to thrive and live together in harmony in Lagos State. Kudos to you, Mr. Governor. To men and women who have toiled endlessly in making this event successful, I want to say thank you. With the power vested in me as the High Priestess of Olokun, I want to declare the festival open. Thank you.
Please, let's put our hands together for honor. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together once again. Yeye Lara, she has declared the Olokun Festival 2022 open. One basic thing we should understand, like what she said, our culture is enough to help our country. Our culture is enough to help our country. Abẹ́rẹ́ ṣe rárá, abẹ́rẹ́ rá, èèyàn rìnrìn ó sọnù. Adíá fún ọ̀gá tí ó gbaṣọ aláṣọ bóra, oníta bí wọn mọ́ kí mú wọn tẹ̀lé ẹlẹ́ni ní ìyàwó lára. Meaning, we are taking people's culture to override our own culture. So based on these, ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling to the microphone somebody I respect, a very master when it comes to our culture. I call him Iru Monle in our culture. Please put your hands together. John Oba. Please put your hands together. Please put your hands together. John Oba.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. All protocol duly observed. I want to appreciate the Yeye for these initiatives, this wonderful privilege to promote our culture. Like I always said, our culture is our identity, and we must not play away with it. When I had the privilege of representing Nigeria on this platform, at the risk of being a jack of all trade and master of none, we decided to focus on African culture. Because our belief is that our culture will solve most of the vices that we're experiencing today. If we imbibe our culture, the issue of corruption will be something of the past. I was discussing with you yesterday, and we're talking about how our culture molds us not to lie. And I said, if we want corrupt-free Nigeria, let's take our leaders to task and let them go by the way of our culture. Once you are elected, you swear by the culture. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm very sure none of them we dare touch a dime because they understand the consequences of what their actions will be. So definitely, our culture is so unique that it baffles one to think that we could be jettisoning such unique culture for something strange, in fact, something that modeled us to be what we are not made to be. Our culture, I'm a Yoruba man, and our culture is so unique that everything about Yoruba culture has meaning. Everything. You will never see a parent giving his or her child a name that doesn't have a meaning in Yoruba land. Nothing. Everything about our culture is unique. Our methods of governance. In fact, a lot of us youth don't even know that as Yorubas we have our own method of governance, because we looked away from that and we're looking at the European, the Western culture that is so, to me, so inferior to our culture. Anyway, we have our method of worship, our method of doing business, our marriages are wonderful and unique, and everything about our culture, our manners, we're taught about mannerism right from the beginning. That is why you see a typical Yoruba man, we never do something against his family. We all understand. When you misbehave aside, your family will single-handedly disown you. That is it. And that is what gives us that consciousness to be careful. It gives us a whole lot of consciousness about our attitude. So, but what we are seeing these days, it calls for concern, and that is why we must bring our culture back. We must bring our culture back to the fore so that our youth can understand the value of the culture and they can be properly molded to be the Yoruba people they are supposed to be. So that we will allow our culture to be eroded. And that is why we should be proud of our culture. Our dresses as Yoruba is one of the most modest and most decent dressing in any part of the world. Yes, I can defend that any day, any time. You should look at it. Our dresses are very modest, decent, and you won't see any trace of morality or even of immorality in our dresses. Everything about us, we can say, is the best in the world. I'm not only talking about, I'm only using Yoruba as an example. We have unique, wonderful cultures across Africa. Across Africa. Unique cultures. And we need to bring that back. Just imagine the dance. Very, very unique. Everything about us. We should be proud of that. Let's not throw it away. I was talking about a oriki, ewi. Some of these things are dying off. I'm very sure some of the youth here cannot even recite their own ewi, their family ewi, their family oriki. They cannot do it because they have thrown it off. And I don't know how you feel when I get to my family and all these are old mothers start giving the oriki. You feel proud that yes, I'm from this family, because it tells much about your history. It tells much about the value of your family. And that is it. And some of these things are dying off. We must preserve it. We must bring it back so that we will not lose ourselves. We will not lose our identity. That is why I want to call on the government, where the government is supporting, but I want to call on this government for more support for this festival. And also the private sectors, the banks, the private institutions. Look at it. These are one of the areas you can assist the nation. These are some of the areas that you can prove your social responsibility to the nation. Invest in culture. Culture alone can revitalize every aspect of our economy. Culture, without culture, tourism will be nowhere. Culture brings about tourism. People want to see what is happening. They want to know, in fact, that's why you see Brazilians. And it's very funny that even those that are not in Africa, Brazilians celebrate our culture more than us. They celebrate Ifa, they celebrate Olokun, they celebrate Oshun, and you wonder what is wrong with us Nigerians. Those we believe are not part of us, just because we thought they would have lost touch with the culture. They are preserving it fervently, and they are working to uphold the culture. And we should do more. We should do more. And that's why ECOSOC is supporting this totally, because one of our main responsibility is to project African culture according to Aspiration 5 of the African Union Agenda 2063 that talks about Africa with strong cultural identity. Africa with strong cultural identity. People are waking up to understand that our culture must be held strongly. Asians they are upholding their culture, and even in the Latin Americans and South they are upholding their culture. It's only Africa that decide to embrace the inferior for the original. I think we need to change our mindset. So I want to congratulate you once more, and I want to call on Nigerians, please come participate. Come and see your culture yourself. Instead of reading it in the book, come see it physically, and then you learn more. Thank you so much.
Please, let's welcome Honorable John Robert. Thank you so much. This man has spoken my mind. Sincerely. You've just said what is in your mind. Probably there will be any photocopy about it. The Yoruba people would say, "Inta bi won ki wu won, teni eleni ni ya won lara." Adia ga tí ó lọ gbàjọ aláṣọ. If you know what a chameleon is, the original clothes made for chameleon is not what you see on the chameleon. The chameleon will change according to the color around the chameleon, yes or no? So, but chameleon will not be original. It's always an inferior animal. So, that is the Yoruba I've just spoken. For those who don't understand, that means you need to be original rather than being inferior. Please put your answers Honorable Yoruba. On this note, I'm calling on somebody from the great city of Malaysia and from the high country of Malaysia. Please step forward for the upload. Please put your hands up for him.
Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. If you ask me to talk about culture, well, I'm not the person. I'm more into economics, okay, because I'm from trade office, Malaysia, based in Lagos. Relation between Malaysia and Nigeria is dated back to 1960s with the Prime Minister of Nigeria, Abu Bakar Tatawa Balewa, extended friendly relationship with our first Prime Minister, Tunku Abdul Rahman. Since then, both countries enjoy political and economic ties. Economic relations between both countries have flourished and putting the total trade in 2020 at over more than 4 billion USD. The export, we import a lot of things from Nigeria. The top 5 is the tin ores, crude petroleum gas, cocoa bean, and raw aluminium, where Malaysian export more palm oil, crude palm oil to Nigeria. If we are talking about culture, yes, of course, we have a lot of African in Malaysia, more than 400,000 Nigerian in Malaysia. And then if you are talking about Nigeria, it's very close to me because my brother-in-law, a lecturer in University of Malaysia, is a Nigerian. So he's from Imo State. I've never been there because this is my 1 month and 6 days in Nigeria. I'm still new and still learning. And then with this 1 month and 6 days, I think your country is so beautiful. Lot of with 250 ethnics, 500 language. I think you are very rich with all this culture. And I'm looking forward to know more about your culture this coming 26th of August. Okay? And thank you for inviting me to this event, and then I look forward for next event. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for the man who is ready to see what our culture is like. And definitely, once you get to know our culture, you take it back to Kuala Lumpur to tell them that things are great. Please put your hands together for me. On this note, I'm going to call somebody also from the African Union, a brother, a mentor, and a companion. Please put your hands for Honorable Koki Abdul Kendi. I think I deserve more than that, please. Thank you. Yes, our culture, my culture, your culture, our culture. Because we can't read it out. Because when God created the world, people from the scriptures know that God did not play with culture. That is why you see Christians, they know that they have to be in church in the morning. And then when you are going to the church, some churches you don't wear shoe to enter the church. And as a Muslim too, I don't think anybody can enter mosque with their shoe. That is culture, religiously. When we talk of culture, my boss has said a whole lot of things about what we can benefit as individuals, as young Africans, what we can benefit for upholding our culture. Because when you look around, when we say culture, it involves a lot of things. Culture, from culture you have fashion. Look at the way our mothers, our brothers, look at the way they dress today. It's so beautiful, look at them. From culture, you talk about cuisine, our food. You know, when you go around Africa, you see good food. You know, of recent, when we get to Zanzibar, I was looking for where to eat Yoruba food. You know, because as for me, even if I travel out of this country, for 3 days, if I don't eat any Nigerian food, I may become very sick. You know, so as a result of this, we have a whole lot of opportunities, potentials, you know, that we can work on to develop our country, our continent. And what is bringing Nigeria and other continents together is through our culture. Of recent, we were with a Cuban ambassador, and when they started talking about their culture, it's like Yoruba culture, no difference. You go to Brazil, like he has rightly said, this Olokun head, the Brazilians are worshiping it like you can't even, where they mounted Olokun in the city of Bahia, you can't throw something, you can't throw dirt into it, you'll be arrested. And that's to show you that we need to really nurture our culture to something we really want it to be. It's a clarion call on youth of this country. Don't say I don't have a job. Don't wait for God. You have said it. Our destiny should be in our hand. At this point in time, there's a whole lot we can do. There's a whole lot of potentials, advantages that we can get through culture. And that's what we've been promoting. As the head of culture and tourism for the African Union Economic, Social and Cultural Council, we've been relating with notable organizations. We've been relating with viable organizations and individuals alike to see that we promote our culture for the betterment of Africa,
for the betterment of Nigeria as a whole. Don't feel demoralized. Don't feel disenchanted that the economy is not good. One day, by the special grace of God, we'll get to the promised land. Thank you.
Please put your hands together for Mr. Honorable Quadri Adukande. I appreciate that. In the Ifa divinity, and something referred to this that I'm going to bring it out. Ayoyogo, ayoyogo, ayoyogo mo. Lọ́jọ́ tí bàbá fẹ́ lọ fi yọ̀yọ́ra, ó ní ọ̀rọ̀ ayọ̀, òun ni kò bá mi. Gbogbo wa tá a máa bí ọ̀rọ̀ ayọ̀ ló máa bá wa. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing to the microphone Head of Culture, Tourism and Art Sector, standing by. Please make welcome Mrs. Abiola Adelani.
Afternoon, everybody. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol, but I would love to appreciate Yeye Lara for this special invite. And I must say, well done for all the amazing things you're doing. Because it's more than amazing to see a young, agile, educated, beautiful woman embracing her culture. She's not only embracing it, she is the custodian herself, and she's so proud of it. You know, like I was introduced, my name is Abiola, and I head tourism and art sector of Stellenbosch. And people wonder when they say we have this desk in a financial institution. So Stellenbosch remains the only financial institution as of today that has a dedicated desk for culture, tourism, and arts. And why are we looking at that sector? Number one, I would say culture. Our culture is our heritage. Permit me to read something I saw interesting on social media recently. They said Nigerians are scared of Yemoja, but love Little Mermaid. You know, we see little children watch these cartoons and stuff. You know, where we see our culture as very demonic. They say Shango is evil, but Do is their hero. They adore storm, but they don't want nothing to do with Oya. They are in love with Aquaman, but they hate Olokun. You know, we have been indoctrinated to hate ourselves and love our enslavers. That is very pathetic. There's one thing I always love and appreciate about an Hausa. I've worked in one organization that's headed by Hausa people. It's a financial institution too. But the way you can get yourself into the heart of the MD is for you to speak Hausa to him because he's an Hausa man. If you're abroad and you see an Hausa man, if you want him to just like you immediately, speak Hausa to him and he will respond in Hausa. But you see our Yoruba people, you speak Yoruba to them and they're responding back in English because we feel we're very sophisticated. We don't value what we have. As a tourism financial expert, my goal is actually to create financial and economical empowerment and offering for this sector. Religious tourism is one of the major opportunities that we have as a nation. We cannot compete with the likes of Dubai and the Western world. We don't have all those sophisticated infrastructure, but we have what we have, which is our religion. The past speakers have said something about the Brazil, the Cubans, and how so much they actually embrace and love our culture. We see Brazilian craving to be industrial. They call it naturalization. They want to become Yorubas. They want to come and worship what we despair, what we don't love. So it's actually I'm calling on government. For us in Stellenbosch, we're not working on this part alone. And that is why we love to associate with all of the stories around Olokun and all of that. So a lot of people need this awareness. You don't have to make it look like a demon, like a fetish stuff. So our culture is not fetish, you know. So thank you everybody. I didn't prepare for a speech, but it is what it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please let's return to Mrs. Adela. Thank you. You said you didn't prepare for the speech. So the one you did was even fantastic. Please let's return to the number one.